Joining us now, Action Jack Wilson. He's the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. Action Jack, good to have you with us, man.
Good morning, John. Good to be with you.
Jack, what's going on now in the 97th District with Hanover County excluding hundreds of people, kicking them out of the party, and not letting them vote, and trying to slating, which everybody detests? I thought we got rid of this.
Well, we did, or we thought we did, John, and it hasn't happened yet, and my hope is that Hanover, when the mass meeting occurs, will not slate. We at the Republican Party of Virginia are firmly opposed to slating. We'd actually put something in our party plan a few years ago to address this issue, but we never had anticipated, frankly, a situation where we had overfiling of delegates or potential delegates, and so that's apparently a loophole that it appears that the Wyatt campaign might be looking at trying to take advantage of. We asked, once we learned that there was a situation where we had overfiling in both New Kent and Hanover for the 97th District Convention, I called a meeting of the campaigns in an effort, again, not favoring one campaign or the other, and I'm not endorsing one candidate over the other, but I wanted an open and as broad a process as possible and to send as many people to the convention that wanted to go. And so we were trying to see if we could come up with a compromise between the campaigns to agree first that there would be no slating, that everybody who filed would either go as a delegate or an alternate delegate. And again, that's what we want to do, is we want to broaden the party. We want to grow the party. We don't want to make it smaller and exclusionary. And in the past, slating has really caused significant divisions within the party. And I'm trying to bring the party back together. My message is we've got to be united. Clearly, we can have spirited nominating contests. That brings new people into the process. It gives us new energy, new ideas. But we got to do it in a way that doesn't divide and harm our activists after the process is over. And slating is clearly the thing that would do that. And if it happens in the 97th, we're going to have a lot of people in Hanover County that are going to be very disillusioned with the Republican Party, and we will lose them for years to come. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. So, again, I don't have a candidate. I'm not nominating or endorsing either one of them, but I want a process that doesn't include slating. And I'd hope that the campaigns, both of them, would agree to it. Clearly, the Peace campaign was agreeing to that, but I haven't gotten that confirmation from the Wyatt campaign, so I'm a little disappointed there.
Inside scoop, I had heard that there was a conference call set up by the Republican Party of Virginia with representatives from the Chris Peace for Delegate reelection campaign and the Scott Wyatt for Delegate campaign. And as you say, you basically asked, look, can we agree that there'll be no slating? And the Peace campaign agreed to that, and the Wyatt campaign did not. And so this, Jack, and lies the problem, right? Republicans in Virginia have lost 15 statewide races in a row. We got our clocks cleaned in 2017. We lost 3 congressional seats in 2018. This has been a disaster for Republicans since basically 2013. It goes on and on and on. And part of the problem is you're excluding people. And Action Jack Wilson, chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia, you laid it out so succinctly. You want to bring people in, embrace them, not kick them out and exclude them, which is what the Wyatt campaign is trying to do tonight in Hanover. You got all these people that filed. They're enthusiastic. They want to go to the convention. By the way, it's his convention. Wyatt's the one that set this up. No transparency, never told anybody he was going to run, manipulated the system to get the convention. Now he finds out, well, I can't even win the convention. Now I've got to rig the thing I already rigged. I got to double rig it by slating people because he's going to have a slight majority of supporters in Hanover, so he doesn't want any of the opposition there, so he just kicks them out. And I get where you're coming from, Jack, because it doesn't matter. I've said this before. It doesn't matter if you're backing Wyatt or you're backing Peace, Chris Peace. You want a fair and open process. You want a process that invites people, that brings them in, that encourages them. And if you want to go to a convention, Hanover High School, May 4th, I'll be there live covering it. Come one, come all. Participate in the democratic process. But why would you allow, why do we allow people in Hanover for Scott Wyatt to try to rig the thing and kick 100 people out the door? Why would you do that?
Yeah,
How does that help us?
You would do that if that was your only way of trying to win the convention, would be to slate. And that's why we find that abhorrent in the Republican Party of Virginia. It is really a very divisive approach to nominating a candidate, and it really leaves people with a bad taste in their mouth, and it ultimately, in many instances, leads to our nominee losing in the general election against the Democrat, because the party is still split after a slating type convention. And so we wanted to prevent that here. We tried. You're right. It wasn't a conference call. I had asked for a face-to-face meeting at RPV headquarters with the two campaigns. I was there waiting to see if the campaigns would show up. The Peace campaign was present in person, and then somebody from the Wyatt camp called in, but that person didn't have the authority to make any agreement and was basically there to listen. And while there wasn't anything to listen to, we'd laid out what we wanted, which was an agreement that there would be no slating, and we could then go into some of the details about how we would deal with the alternate delegates, et cetera. But we couldn't even get past the initial threshold question of, can we all agree that there will be no slating? The Peace campaign said they were ready to do that. In fact, had the ability, as I understand it, knew Kent and didn't do it. And Delegate Peace has specifically said, I've seen on social media and elsewhere, that he believes everybody who filed should be there. So clearly the Peace campaign is opposed to slating. And so that's what I was very disappointed, that the Wyatt campaign wouldn't at least agree that if somebody stated a preference and a desire to go to the convention, that they could go, whether they be a delegate or an alternate delegate. And I'm still hopeful that in Hanover tonight at the mass meeting that slating will not occur, that everybody in Hanover who filed to be a delegate will get to be a delegate. But frankly, that will be determined by the mass meeting, and whoever's campaign turns out the most people at the mass meeting will have a say in whether they're slating or not.
Action Jack Wilson with us. He's the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. I want to compliment you here, Jack. You're showing real leadership here. This is what the Republican Party of Virginia needs: real life, tough leadership. And you're certainly doing that in this instance, Action Jack Wilson. So here's what I know. So Scott Wyatt filed 523 delegates in Hanover. The Peace campaign say they filed 537, so it's close. But that is a total of 1,050 delegates. Now, these are people. Think about this. This is for a Republican House of Delegates convention in a Republican district. So I don't even know if there's a Democratic candidate, but the Republican is going to win, right? It's way Republican. So 1,050 Republicans sign up for this in Hanover County alone, which means they're very motivated one way or the other. Now, those that signed up for Wyatt, have at it. I'm glad you're exercising your opinion, and thanks for doing that. And for those that signed up for Peace, same thing. But all of them should be allowed to participate in the convention, if they so choose, at Hanover County High School to nominate their choice for the House of Delegates, whether it be Supervisor Scott Wyatt or Delegate Chris Peace. But the fact that you're going to take 1,050 people who went through the effort to sign up to go to the convention and exercise their democratic right, small d, exercise that, and you're now going to say, go away, go home, don't come, you're not invited, you're kicked out, because we're going to nominate 10 people who will make the decision for 1,000, and we're just going to kick you out? How does that build the party?
Well, it doesn't build the party. It divides the party, and it makes the party less effective when we get into the general elections. And so, again, at the party level, we had tried to address and thought we had addressed and prohibited slating, but there now apparently is a loophole that we're going to have to, in the party plan, eliminate in the future. Clearly, we're going to do that. There's a process to do it, and we'll start that now. But it doesn't stop, perhaps, that loophole from being used tonight. And again, I am encouraging the folks that attend the mass meeting in Hanover tonight to do not slate. I don't care which of the campaigns you're there to support.
Exactly.
Do not slate. You will have an opportunity to vote against slating if there's an attempt to do it. And if there is an attempt to do it, I would encourage everyone there to not allow it to happen, because it will further divide the party. And that's not what we need in order to start winning again. We can't do it at a legislative district convention. We clearly can't do it at a state convention. We've got to be united after these processes, and slating is the fastest way to create division in the party.
Action Jack, are you going to be there tonight at the Hanover GOP meeting to deliver that message?
I will not be there this evening. I have delivered the message to both campaigns. I believe John Finley, the executive director, will be there to observe. But again, ultimately, it's the decision of the mass meeting. And the delegates, the folks that show up to the mass meeting will make the decisions. Clearly, there will be discussions, I'm sure, among the campaigns. But my hope is that they would avoid slating and ensure that everybody in Hanover who wanted to be a delegate to the convention gets to go to the convention, either as a delegate or an alternate delegate.
But don't you think it would help, Jack, that if you were there as a chairman of the party, of the Republican Party of Virginia, and you were able to deliver the message you just did right now on the radio and say, look, I don't care who you're voting for, that's your choice, but let's not exclude people. If that came from you at that meeting, wouldn't that be helpful?
Well, I don't know that there's really an opportunity or a forum for me to deliver that message. I'm on your show this morning, hoping that message will get out. We are communicating it to the campaigns, but I don't know really that it's appropriate for me at the mass meeting. This is the Hanover County mass meeting. Perhaps the chair of the mass meeting can deliver that message too, but that's their mass meeting, and it's not one where I should come in as sort of a heavy hand on the process. I can encourage, and like I said, I tried to get the campaigns to agree to a no slating arrangement, but only one of the parties was ready to sit down and negotiate it.
All right, well, a couple of things I want to say, Jack. Number one, I just got a email from Senator Rosalind Dance, who has respectfully declined our invitation for equal time on WJFN Radio 100.5 FM. Jack, while you're on the line, so that we're completely transparent, I tweeted it out, but let me read that to you also from Rosalind Dance. It says, "Good morning, John. I hope this email finds you well. Thank you for your invitation of equal time on WJFN Radio 100.5 FM. However, I respectfully decline the invitation. Best, Rosalind R. Dance." So Rosalind will not have a show. She has declined it, but we made our offer very public of equal time, because we do have the Joe Morrissey show, Joe challenging Dance in a primary, not a rigged convention, but an open primary. That nomination will be decided the old-fashioned way, by real voters not cheating, on June 11th. Now, Jack, we've lost 15 races in a row statewide in Virginia, right? 15 in a row. Not good. But I think we have a shot to win in 2020. I really do. And here's why. And I want to get your comments. So the Wasson Christopher Newport University poll comes out 2 days ago. And it shows that President Trump's approval rating in Virginia right now is at 44%. Now, in 2016, President Trump got 44% of the vote. So here's what that says to me. With all the disasters that have gone on in Virginia for Republicans, the disaster of 2017, we lost 2016, 15 in a row, the midterms, Abigail winning, Loria winning, Wexton winning, all that. All the disasters that have gone on, The Trump base is held firm at 44%. So I don't think you can go down from there. You can only go up, right? Secondly,
I believe so. I think really where we are, in fact, I think that poll showed that the president's approval rating was higher than the governor's approval rating, given where the Democrats are at the top of the state on their side, the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, all underwater, so to speak, in approval. I think Virginia is clearly going to be in play. All the messages we've gotten from the Trump campaign as well as the Republican National Committee is that Virginia is going to be a targeted state. We are going to be looking at significant resources to win in 2020. Obviously, we've got the president's reelection campaign. We also have a United States Senate race. Mark Warner's seat is up, and 6 years ago, or 5 years ago now, but it'll be 6 years ago next year, he barely won re-election in a campaign where our candidate, Ed Gillespie, really got no national money, no national support. I think Mark Warner is going to be very vulnerable, and with the attention that we'll get from the president in his re-election campaign, I'm optimistic we're going to carry Virginia not only for the president, but also pick up the United States Senate seat.
Well, I think you're onto something, Jack. I think 2020 is going to be a different story. I really now think that the president can carry Virginia. I think it's going to be very competitive and very close. And again, you look at those numbers, and Virginia, obviously one of the toughest states for the president because of all the federal workers in Northern Virginia, government shutdowns and all that. And he's still at 44%, which means it can only go up from there, as you say. And he has a higher approval rating than the governor, the Democratic governor of Virginia. So I think we have a shot to win. But you can't win if you're excluding 1,000 people in Hanover County and you're slating and you're rigging and you're cheating. You can't win because all these people are going to just say, why did I even get involved in this, right? And it's hard to get people re-involved when you do this kind of a thing. So look, if you're Scott Wyatt out there, you want to win, go win the convention, right? Make a speech, get your people out, and win. You already got the nominating process you want. Stop cheating. Just go win the thing or not. I don't really care what you do, but don't rig it. I mean, that's just a simple plea. Be fair, go run, have at it, and somebody's going to win, but don't rig the thing because you hurt the party. If you win the battle and lose the war, what the hell good is it, Jack? It's no good.
That's exactly right. We need to be united after any one of these nominating contests is over and focus on winning elections in November. So I'm optimistic that there won't be any slating tonight. I encourage no slating tonight, but only one of the campaigns is committed to that.
Action Jack Wilson, Chairman, Republican Party of Virginia. 2020, we're going to end the schneid, and we're going to win. Trump has a chance to win Virginia. I can't even believe I'm saying it, but it's true. Jack, thanks for your leadership. Thanks for being on today.
Thanks, John. Have a great day.